I'm told.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Tuesday, May 2nd, 2023. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, that's Tess Mellis.
Podcast listeners, this is for you.
Next to him, it's the bearded one, my top shot hot boy, Trey Kirby.
Heyo.
Heyo. And last but not least, over yonder, the apprentice, Eshua Kid.
How y'all doing?
Hey, what's up, Ash? Shout out to the stream team joining us live right now on YouTube. Like the vid, comment away, subscribe to No Dunks. Let's get to 100K, baby, on YouTube. Get your No Dunks merch over at nodunks.com. Told you this yesterday. A lot of new designs up at nodunks.com, especially for you Celtics fans and you Sixers fans and you Heat fans and you Nuggets fans.
Don't be ashamed.
I love that one. I love that Robert Pack throwback down there in the corner. So go to nodunks.com for all your No Dunks merch. On today's pod, we're still buzzing from Steph Curry's 50 burger over the weekend. So we're going to count down the top 10 greatest Game 7 performances in NBA history. This is a really fun list I'm going to take you guys through. We're going to look ahead to tonight's two playoff games. We're going to do a deep dive on Jimmy Butler's gate as he was walking around NYC like a tourist yesterday. Trey Kirby was just looking at nonstop footage of Jimmy Butler and how he looked.
It looked no different than like if you went to New York City. You're like, cool, check out these cool stores I visited. I like the look of this mannequin. But the guy just had one of the great first-round series that we've ever seen, and we're curious if he's going to play tonight. But at least he's having fun in the Big Apple.
Yeah, he's messing with us.
A little bit.
He's clearly saying, I am walking a lot. I am a
Yes.
tourist in New York City with a bum ankle. Am I going to play or aren't I? He's playing.
We'll get to that. And we got Tweet of the Night as well. But first, put your big boy pants on, boys. James Harden scores 45. He hits the late three as the 76ers down the Celtics. Dare I say shock the Celtics. 119-115 in game one without Joel Embiid. Fun one last night in the Garden. And Harden, maybe his greatest playoff game of his career. Top three for sure.
Especially with ridiculously low expectations coming in. I mean, he surpassed those exceedingly, for sure. Doc Rivers definitely empowers his role players. That's his thing when his stars go out. But no one was expecting this, were they? I definitely was not. I don't think anyone was expecting Harden to do anything like this. Actually, I read that report that came out pregame that he talked to reporters and said, I've sacrificed a lot being here as a number two person. And I thought, come on, you can't do what you used to do anymore.
Right.
And then bang! Maybe he needs to be a number one guy to have that ball in his hands to be able to be anywhere close to that 30, 35 point guy, because he hasn't been that with Joel Embiid. He hasn't had to be that. He's obviously been very good. And I think the Celtics have to be kicking themselves with how soft they played him to get him going. It was mainly Derek White to start. He's given him a lot of space. And you want him to take those shots. But he obviously got going. They didn't get the ball out of his hands. No one could do anything. The D's has been just bad overall. They've had 4 performances in this postseason that have been worse than every single performance last year. That would have been their 4 worst last year. So they haven't been good. Maybe they go to Robert Williams just to change it up. But if you're staying at home on Harden, the other guys can't have good games too. And that's what happened. They had 5 guys in double digits. So that's the surprising part. They weren't doubling, but still, Tobias goes off, Maxey goes off. Paul Reed getting dunks. They had 5 guys in double digits. That just can't happen. So
Melton, a great game off the bench.
So Celtics should be kicking themselves for the defense. And then the way they broke down the last few minutes offensively, they couldn't do anything offensively.
Trey, what was better last night? Harden's fit, looking like the Cookie Monster, looking like Sully from Monsters, Inc., or the line that he has 45 points, 17 to 30 shooting, 7 threes, perfect at the line, 6 assists, 2 steals.
That was quite the fit we saw. That was pretty good. James Harden. Those were some gigantic pants. And as the Sixers fans were saying post-game, It's to fit his huge balls. What a performance by James Harden. Made me put on my biggest pants today, hoping to get some of that swag as well. Yeah, incredible stuff from Harden. It's easy to forget now. I certainly did that he was the guy with health concerns coming into the playoffs. Right. We were talking all throughout the first round how nice it's going to be for the Sixers to get some rest, for Joel Embiid to be full speed going against these Boston Celtics, how bad it was for the Celtics to extend their series against the Hawks. It gave Harden 9 days off, gave him a chance to look as fresh as he has. I didn't know that he still had a 45-point game in the playoffs in him, but he obviously did. That's the yin and yang of predictions for you right there, because I did say yesterday, the Celtics are going to lose a game because they do dumb stuff and they don't shoot the ball well. Yep. That happened. I also said James Harden doesn't have it in him to carry the Sixers to a win. That was completely wrong. But Harden, he's a killer in game ones. He's got 10 40-point games in the playoffs in his career. 4 of them have come in game ones. They were not ready for it. We used to have a board back in the starters days. I was going through the old Google Docs trying to to dig it up. But apparently just Googling James Harden game 1, it ain't coming up right away. Nonetheless, all the recipe was there. Harden was cooking. The rest of the Sixers were hitting shots. They just tried to outmath the Celtics. They said, we're not going to try and shoot twos. We might as well just shoot threes, play a little bit fast. And then the Celtics were incredibly dumb. 16 turnovers to 6 turnovers for Philadelphia. Tatum was making incredibly lazy passes in the fourth quarter. There was obviously that weird Maxey layup where everybody just completely gave up on the play. Then I thought some weird stuff from Joe Mazzulla as well in the last couple of plays. Not doubling James Harden after he's been cooking the entire night. I know that's not how the Celtics play, but maybe you should try it in that moment. And then also like entering the ball to Marcus Smart on their last possession. That's a very risky proposition, and as we saw, it went the wrong way.
Yeah, what did you think about the way they played Harden at the end that Trey is alluding to there, where they're down 1 and Harden hits the contested three-pointer, but they got the easy switch. Horford takes him, and he banged it in his face. Were you shocked? No issues with it because it is Horford. He's not bad. Is it more amazing that Harden didn't blow by Horford and actually did have to hit a contested three? What do you think?
Yeah, it's easy to question now, for sure. Horford was right on him.
Yeah.
There's no doubt he was right there. Mazzulla said the couple times we doubled, they did hit shots. They got 6 points off our 2 doubles, and we didn't want to do that. I don't really think that's where the game was lost, in all honesty. They were up 4 with 3 minutes left, and they just had bad possession after bad possession after bad possession. I mean, you can go through it. At 3 minutes left, Tatum did nothing for 20 seconds.
Yeah, he dribbled the air out of the ball on that. But that's what they are doing, that like prevent offense when they get a lead.
Yeah, but he was calling for something, and they just didn't know what they were running.
Yeah.
And so for literally 20 seconds, then he finally chucked one up and missed. How does that happen? How do you not know what he was signaling and calling? There was a lot of times, even defensively, Marcus Smart was calling out, what the hell happened to that easy Paul Reed dunk, the easiest thing in the freaking world, or when Tobias Harris was doing a yakety sax and he did a loop-de-loop around Al Horford. That was strange. 4:40 left there. I think it was the third quarter. That was weird. And then you go from the Tatum possession to Jaylen Brown. 2 minutes left. He's in transition. He's got Harden in between him and the hoop. That's it. Just James Harden. And he pulls it out. And they missed a couple times on that possession. And then 30 seconds left, that Malcolm Brogdon pass to Tyrese Maxey. They're on opposing teams. It's at the end of
it. was a good look, though. It's wide open.
It was open.
I loved it. It was right at the end of the shot clock. Brogdon, I don't know, he thought, I guess Tatum was there or somebody was there, and he passed it literally to Malcolm Brogdon for a breakaway layup the other way. They could have said shot clock violation. I'm sorry, for Tyrese Maxey. They could have said shot clock violation. That basket doesn't count. But it was the right call. I guess it was right before the shot clock went off. Anyway, lots of things went wrong. I don't think you could just put it on that Horford move. They just stunk. They hit 59% of their shots in this game, the Celtics did. That's good.
They didn't play any defense. Barkley was spot on at the in the postgame. He said they had 10 personal fouls. They didn't play any defense last night. Horford said postgame they didn't feel us defensively. Yeah. We let up because we knew Embiid wasn't going to be there, and that's 100% what it looked like. You throw in the three-point shooting difference, 17 for Philadelphia, only 10 for Boston. That's kind of the story of the Celtics season. When they look their worst, it's just unserious basketball out there and trying to make it back with three-point shooting. Yeah, the turnover for Maxey, that was just a like a bunch of scared guys, it looked like, from the Celtics. Nobody wanted to take the shot, and then only Maxey played to the whistle, and it turned out to be such a huge play because it got him a 2-for-1 as well. One with a layup and one with a three-pointer, one-on-one. Like Barkley said, big guys can't guard guards. That's why you see guards have all these humongous like, that's an easy shot for Harden. The Celtics let PJ Tucker play 28 minutes and not take a shot. That's insane.
Yeah.
The Sixers were playing 4-on-5 for most of the night, and they scored 119 points.
Yeah, it was wild. That final play there, that one we're talking about, the Brogdon play where he throws it to Maxey for the fast break, that to me was just another example of them playing prevent offense. They didn't get into anything in that offensive set until about 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Then it started being hot potato. So there was movement. Credit to the Sixers defense on that play if you go back and watch it. Especially Tobias Harris, Tucker, they are scrambling like motherfuckers. Like they're in a sort of zone setup too. But yeah, it goes from Brogdon. I believe it went then into the corner to Jaylen Brown. It goes then to it went from Brogdon to Smart to Jaylen Brown, back to Smart to Tatum, back to Brogdon, who then looked like he had a jumper. Like he could have taken a jumper at the end of the shot clock, and instead panicked a little bit. I don't know if he was going back to Tatum or what the move was, and that's where it just goes right to Maxey. I was ecstatic that they didn't call a shot clock violation. For 15 years, I've complained about that, where you play great defense, and then right at the end of the shot clock, the defense gets the ball, and they say, oh, nope, shot clock. You're like, the advantage was to the defense. And that was a perfect example, so I was happy with that. And he goes the other way. And, I think, was it Tatum or whoever said, like, we thought it was a shot clock violation. We stopped playing. You were not catching Tyrese Maxey, the fastest guy on the floor anyway, so don't worry about that.
No.
But how about Paul Reed stepping to the free throw line and hitting 4 big free throws down the stretch? I don't even think he hit the rim. Reggie was pointing out on the broadcast. 10 points, 13 boards. He had another bad sort of first half. Got it going in the second half. Those free throws were massive in this very close game.
Yeah, that's what J.R. Smith's dad taught him. Free throw doesn't count if it hits the rim and goes in.
Oh, jeez. I like
That's
that.
a J.R. Smith shout out. Just watched his
dad, Earl, huh?
His dad, the real Earl, the original Earl. Anyway, the Brogdon pass is un-Brogdon-like. I guess he just missed a 3-point shot. But yeah, everyone was definitely really hesitant. That's what we saw in Game 5 against the Atlanta Hawks. And then in Game 6, they corrected it. The Celtics figured out we got to play faster, get into our sets, move the rock. And that didn't happen these last few minutes. They went back to their old mistakes. And yeah, Paul Reed, ridiculously confident getting a start. Why? Because the Celtics were soft defensively. If you just give the other team confidence, you gave James Harden confidence, you gave Tobias Harris confidence if you're going to play that soft throughout the entire game. So that's why they're so confident. That's why the Celtics fell apart. But yeah, totally. Lots of credit to Maxey. Even Harden on that Jason Tatum 3-point shot with a few minutes left. He was playing defense. Everyone was sensing that they could steal this game.
Yeah.
And they were playing great. So you give a team life. The Celtics shot 72% in the first half and were only up 3 points because they couldn't. They weren't physical. I mean, there's still answers for Harden when you mix in Smart and Derek White and Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. They should still have answers there to play one-on-one, but they didn't play physical, and so it's an attitude thing. And we continued into the third quarter. The Celtics couldn't miss in the third quarter. And that's the point where I thought, okay, maybe the Celtics from the first half to the second half, they decide, all right, we're going to win this thing defensively. Maybe we started slow here in Game 1, but it didn't happen. So, yeah, they are definitely kicking themselves. This is a wild one. And maybe to get that attitude going into Game 2, Robert Williams gets started to the starting lineup. Easy to forget that he was the guy who started all last year during the postseason run. So maybe it's something there that changes.
I think I like Trey's idea of, hey, if Embiid is not playing again in Game 2, and we'll see now what they do, because now they got sort of maybe the split that you hope to get on the road. Do you just buy him even more time to heal up? We'll wait and see. But, make PJ Tucker at least take a shot by running other guys, multiple guys at, Hardens and Maxies and stuff like that. Make the ball get kicked to PJ Tucker. See if he can beat you from the corner. See if he can beat you from inside even. It's unbelievable he didn't shoot.
He set the screen for Harden, I think, too, right? Like,
smart, yeah.
That's got to be a double team. Make the guy who hasn't taken a shot all night hit the biggest shot of the game. I don't know. Haven't been impressed with Joe Mazzulla, and the guy is officially their coach now.
Yeah,
right.
Like rookie coach here for him, no doubt.
Yeah, we'll see if he gets the a full rookie season.
Harden entered Monday's game 1 for 12 on potential game-tying or go-ahead shots inside the final 24 seconds of a playoff game. He had done it once, hit a 14-footer game winner against the Warriors back in 2016. Per CBS Sports Research, that was the worst field goal percentage for any of the 29 players in the play-by-play era, so we're going back to 96-97, who have attempted at least 7 such shots. Again, potential game tying or go-ahead shot in the final 24 seconds of a playoff game. So now he's 2 for 13, 15%. That moved him from worst all-time to 5th worst percentage on game tying or go-ahead playoff shots in the final 24. Do you know who the new leader is? Current player.
New worst?
Yeah, new worst.
Westbrook?
1 for 10. Good call. He's your new leader. Followed by, just some fun names here,
That's easy.
Carmelo Anthony. 1 for 8, so 12.5%. And then 2 Jasons.
Kidd?
Yep.
Another Jason? Terry?
Good job, my
Okay.
man. Yep, those guys went 1 for 7.
Like, it's going to be him or Collins, and
So-
I don't think he was taking a whole bunch of game winners.
Yeah, Westbrook 1 for 10, Melo 1 for 8, Kidd and Terry 1 for 7, and like I said, James Harden improving to 2 for 13 in those situations. But this makes this series a lot more fun, there is no doubt. They got the Harden game. Like Trey says, if you're going to get a Harden game, it's more likely than not going to come in game 1. Do it without Embiid. Get that victory on the road. And maybe it's the wake-up call the Celtics need. Because, yeah, I hated what they did at the end of this game on both sides as we've gone through here. But, obviously, I don't think anybody's saying, well, that's a wrap for the Boston Celtics. See you later. I think it's just now a series, of course.
Now it's a series. And honestly, we need more Jaylen Brown. Awesome first half. 16 points, 6 of 7 from the field. Took 3 shots in the second half of this game. It was a layup line for Boston. That's why they shot such a great percentage. But I would have liked to see more, especially once Tatum wasn't having anything going in the fourth quarter. I would rather go towards Jaylen instead of Marcus Smart, instead of Malcolm Brogdon. But that was not the way it went down last night. And didn't pay off.
So how do you play this if you're the Sixers now? You improve to 13-5 on the season without Joel Embiid. You win game 1. He's obviously banged up. I guess they were not sandbagging us. He couldn't go. He didn't look good in practice. Wasn't moving a lot. Do you just shut him down for game 2? See if, Maxey could have the Harden-like game. If you can get enough shots from Melton again hitting threes and try and pull out another one and just rest Embiid as long as you can. Or if he's like, I want to go. I'm going to get MVP here tonight. Put me in for game 2 the next night. What do you do, Tass Mellis? Do you just shut him down for till game 3?
Probably.
Yeah.
I want a healthy Embiid. That's my choice.
Yeah. I mean, they got the win. That's all they needed. They needed 1 win in Boston. So, I mean, rest Embiid, maybe rest Harden as well, so he can be completely fired up for game 3. We know game 2, the game 2s aren't quite as point-filled. What?
For James Harden?
For James Harden. Yeah, he doesn't score as much in a game 2, so shut him down, let him play game 3. There's no need to play Embiid right now. You got your split on the road. That's the key.
Yeah, I went through the our old Google Docs, because with the starters, we had a graphic that...
God.
that
You guys are really in the Google Docs today.
yeah, man, we like Google Docs. Anyway...
Did you find it?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
But,
Wow, what a great service we've been using for a decade.
But StatMuse has supplanted us. We don't need it. And
That means you got to pay for now.
Yeah, not the ones I was searching for.
Okay, gotcha.
They're still freebies.
Okay,
anyway,
good.
he's pretty even across the board from games 1 to game 7. So you didn't miss anything. Things have changed since
Things
we
have
were
changed. It's
on
been a long time.
television. It's been a while.
Any other notes from Sixers shocking the B-Town boys in game 1? Random notes, players you wanted to highlight? What do you got?
I think I got everything. I think we covered everything with regards to me.
Yes,
Notes.
I think everything has been covered.
Everything has been covered. We'll be checking the Google Doc later to make sure we actually checked off
I
everything.
mean, you mentioned
Really?
X Factor D'Anthony Melton already, right?
That was huge.
Exactly. 5 threes in the first half. None in the second half, but they still count in the first half, I saw.
Yeah, they had like along with Harden, obviously, dragging them to this victory. I mean, they needed all 45. It was like spurts of good play from the other guys. Like Melton, like you said, first half hitting all those threes. I don't think Maxey had an incredible game, but he had a little stretch where he was obviously very, very aggressive, looking for his shot. Actually started knocking some down. Obviously, the big play at the end where he was just gift wrapped the ball from Brogdon. Tobias Harris, same thing. They just got these little sections of this game to pair with Harden's overall masterpiece here to pull out this victory. And they were helped out by the Celtics, shit in the bed here at times. I thought they were setting up pretty nicely. I had a great baseball analogy ready to go for you, Tass, in this game. Because I was going to come here if the Celtics would pull off a Game 1 victory. I was like, Jason Tatum was their starter, right? He had a good game. I guess lost a little bit, but 39 points, 11 boards, 5 assists. Gave him, I felt like good 7 or 8 innings there. And then it felt to me like Marcus Smart was the closer. He was like hitting those and ones. He had a couple in the fourth quarter, made some like smart like defensive plays, started what we thought was going to be a transition break there for Jaylen Brown because they got the Horford block, went to Smart, kicked ahead Jaylen Brown. But like you said, Tass, he pulled it out. But in the end, he gave up a home run because he should have shot that floater. It was a little weird that they even went to him to begin with. I'll give you that, Trey, but he got a little too cute with in traffic trying to sort of a little to Tatum.
They should have pulled Tatum. Pitched too many innings. This ain't 1985. It's 2023. Jaylen Brown should have been the bridge.
Needed
pitched the
setup man.
7th, 8th probably.
Yeah, you're right.
It's weird. It was weird to see him just kind of not be a part of the offense. That guy was playing really well. He is an incredible basketball player. But in the end, Maxey had the second most points, of anyone outside Harden and Tatum. That just shouldn't happen. That was a weird one. Really weird one from the Celtics.
Let's move to the second game from last night. Remember when we said this was going to be an offensive, the firepower offensively in this series was going to be nuts between the Suns and the Nuggets? Well, we lied to you because we had Jokic scoring 39. He had a great game to lead the Nuggets past the Suns 97-87. Oh my God, 39, 16, and 5 for the Joker. Taking a ton of shots, being aggressive. Trey Malone talked about it after the game. He's like, I love this. Nobody else could hit a shot, and so they went to the one guy who could. And man, he single-handedly, I thought, kept them in the game at the end of the third quarter, and then continued in the fourth and scored in a million different ways.
Yeah, this was an awesome performance from Nikola Jokic. So if the Tim Bontemps leak is right and he wins MVP tonight, this is the kind of game you want to see before a guy wins a surprise MVP. He put the team on his back 100%. Came out strong in the first quarter, 11 points, but he didn't want to score every point last night. He didn't really want to. Second quarter, he was playing the passing game, distributing the ball, only scored 2, but at halftime, they must have had a talk where Malone said, look, they're swarming Jamal Murray. They're taking the ball out of his hands. They're trying to limit everybody else and make you score every basket. Go out there and score every basket. So Jokic did. He came out strong and was smashing it in the second half. Most shots he's taken at all this season. 30 attempts. I thought that was incredible because this was a game that was played more so, I thought, at the Suns' pace. Only 16 turnovers in game 1 for Phoenix, only 9 last night. Not a lot of three-pointers made for the Nuggets. Not as many attempted. They were really guarding the three-point line well. The Suns were. This was a Hoopers game. That should be an advantage for the Suns, where your two-pointers matter a lot. But Jokic was the best guy at two-pointers last night. Went 15 for 24 inside the arc. Devin Booker, 10 for 21. That's good. Not good enough. Kevin Durant, 8 for 15 inside the arc. That's good. Not good enough. Definitely not good enough from 3 for KD, shooting 2 for 12. Denver's had the best player on the court for the first 2 games. It was Jamal Murray in game 1. He could not get going really until the fourth quarter a little bit last night. But Jokic realized what was happening and adapted his game to be a scorer, and he was money. It was like the ugliest, flippiest shots.
Oh, I love it.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just throw it up. It's going to get on the rim, and it's going to roll in. He couldn't finish in game 1. Not the case last night.
What'd you think of Jokic's performance?
Well, Jokic was obviously spectacular. That was the third quarter battle, him and Booker back and forth at the end of the third quarter was awesome. It was 9-7. It was the last 7 points for the Suns was scored by Booker and then 9 from Jokic. And the Suns had a lead going into the fourth quarter, and they just didn't have enough firepower, really. The Nuggets were playing really solid defense on Booker and Durant. It was Booker to start. He plays with the bench players, and the bench has not been coming through for the Phoenix Suns whatsoever.
That's being kind.
Yeah, it's an understatement for sure. Monty Williams has not been pressing the right buttons. He still has a TJ Warren just hanging out. He hasn't played him whatsoever. The guy scored 20 points in the league a while ago, and he looked good this season. Terrence Ross still hanging out. Both DNPs in this one. Nobody scoring off the bench, and they just went cold to start because the Nuggets were doing a good job of getting the ball out of Booker's hands. Booker had an incredible game. I thought he was going faster than game one, just not letting the double teams come. He had 35 in this game. But when it came down to the final few possessions where it was super close, 4 minutes left, they got up in Durant's face. Somebody blocked Kevin Durant. Bruce Brown came over and blocked him. It was a help block, but it was an incredible block to turn it the other way. And Jokic was smart on the defensive end. The Nuggets were within, they're up 3 actually, 4 minutes left, and Jokic saw a play where DeAndre Ayton was on the dunker spot. Josh Okogie came into the lane. Aaron Gordon left the dunker spot, and DeAndre Ayton got an easy dunk to make it a 3-point game with 4 minutes left. You can see him say the next possession down, don't leave that guy. Let's see Josh Okogie make a play at the free throw line. Aaron Gordon goes back to him. Josh Okogie doesn't know what to do. He passes out, and they miss a shot, and that the 3-point lead spreads. They had 3 minutes there where they didn't score with a team with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, and they need some offensive help around him. And I'm not even sure that Chris Paul injury really mattered in this game in particular. Maybe he was having his best quarter of the first 7 quarters he played and went out at the end of the third quarter, but he ended with 8 points. But they need some more offense because the Nuggets are they're ganging. They're ganging up, and they played really well.
Yeah, Chris Paul leaves the game. What was it? 4 or 5 minutes left in the third. Injured his left groin attempting a rebound there in traffic. And they were playing well at that moment, and he had sort of been unlocked a tiny little bit. He did not look good at stretches in this game. But they're up by 4 when he goes to the locker room. He doesn't return. And this dude, man, he is damn cursed when it comes to injuries in the playoffs. Like the run he is on. No wonder he's with State Farm. Because holy crap. Jesus. The
His
postseason
premiums must be
injury,
insane, though.
After postseason injury, we'll see how serious it is. But they need him, even when he's not playing like old Chris Paul levels, because their bench is garbage. Garbage. We knew the Suns' depth was going to be a problem. I didn't think it would perform this poorly through 2 games. The box score is nuts in this game. 2 points from Biyombo. Okay? 2 points from Cameron Payne.
Oh,
that's it. Ish played a handful of minutes, whatever. Torrey Craig, 11 minutes, nothing. Jock played 5, nothing. Damian Lee, 26 minutes, part because of the Chris Paul injury, nothing. 4 points. That is not gonna get it done against a very good Nuggets team. Well, somebody has to step up.
And the 5th starter, Josh Okogie, he had 2 points as well. And like Tass said, he had a wide open floater in the middle of the lane that he did not even want to take. But I mean, you just got to hope that you get something from the role players when you go back to Phoenix, because the campaign minutes were those were scary. Campaign thought he was him. We saw a great I'm him moment from James Harden. This was a great I'm not him moment from Campaign. That was pretty brutal. Returning from injury, played a little bit in the last series, but they look bad. I don't know. I think Kevin Durant somehow has to be the backup center and the backup point guard for this team, because he needs to do a little bit more. 2 for 12. You could tell that the Suns came out trying to take more 3-pointers.
Yep.
Maybe that got KD out of rhythm, because some of the shots, it looked like he knew he had to take them, but didn't necessarily want to take a 3. They were rushed, or they were a little, like a half second behind. It was just out of rhythm for the entire night. Finished 2 for 12, like I said, 10 for 27 from the field. If they get a better KD in this game, they got a pretty solid chance at winning it, but you don't see a lot of games where Kevin Durant takes more shots than points he scores.
Yeah,
he was just off. And in the fourth quarter, again, they were right there. They had a lead going into the fourth. They had a 14-point fourth quarter with Kevin Durant on the floor because the Nuggets just say, hey, somebody else beat us. And in this series, the Suns have, call it a wash between Durant and Booker and Jokic and Murray. But the Nuggets have the best 3rd player, best 4th player, and best 5th player, really. Like the best 3rd option, 4th option, and 5th option in Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. And KCP. They've been outperforming.
KCP was huge last night.
Hits a couple big threes there, and this is what he does. He's now hit 7 threes through 2 games. Perfect stuff. And their bench obviously outperforming the Suns bench. So
the
3, 4, 5,
crew.
6, 7, 8. Yeah, the compost crew. A couple browns and a green off the bench. That's all you need. As somebody said last year, common composting problem is you have too many greens in the compost. That's what they had last year. Too many. They had Jeff Green and they had Michael Green.
You're right.
So they kicked off one. Nice balance now. A couple browns.
Right.
And one that's not even a brown, and a Christian Bron Brown, but he's a Brown. Anyway,
Brown.
so you got a Jeff Green who got a dunk, and what a jam. What a jam. So I'm saying that's an old-timey phrase. Nobody says jam anymore. But I'm saying that because Spiro Dedis on the call said, "Holy smokes," when he dunked that. Also an old-timey call. At first I thought he said, "Whoa, he smokes." Like maybe he was just marveling at the fact that Jeff Green smokes and can dunk at the same time at 36 years old. But listen, glass half full for the Suns. Campaign goes into the starting lineup, which I assume he will if Chris Paul can't go. There are 3 days off here in between games 2 and 3. But maybe Campaign just scales it back and doesn't shoot 7 times in 17 minutes because he's playing with the starters and gets his mojo back, because that's what they absolutely need. And maybe that Monty Williams is forced to play some scorers off the bench, as I mentioned, Warren and Ross just chilling. So I think you can go glass half full. It was a close game. It was a very, very, very close game. Flip it to Phoenix, they could win.
You think it might still be a series? Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1, relax, Skeets, 10, damn, this thing is over. How worried should the Suns be, Trey? Where would you put it on that scale?
7.
Okay.
It right now feels like the Suns have 2 reliable players in Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. Though honestly, Durant has had 2 bad games.
I agree.
7 turnovers in game 1, then obviously a poor shooting night last night. With this team, the top 4 guys got to play well. Chris Paul is likely out going into game 3. Ayton, who knows? I mean, Ayton is going to get 15 and 10 probably in most games this series, but it doesn't feel impactful compared to what Jokic is doing. Like, even Jokic in game 1, he was 9 for 21, but he dominated inside. And Ayton is just like, he scores points, but it doesn't feel the same. Their role players will be better, I assume, at home. Phoenix they shot 0 for 11 from 3 last night, but like, Monty Williams is playing every guy except for these 2 guys that Tass wants to play. And if those guys aren't playing, how bad must their defense be, is the question. Meanwhile, Michael Malone knows exactly who to play. Only 3 guys off the bench last night, the compost lineup, and they all did their part. Christian Brown gets steals. Bruce Brown brings athleticism, defense, and passing. And then Jeff Green just demoralizes you with a dunk from an old man. So
with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth.
We've seen a lot of 2-0 comebacks. Like, we just had one in the last series. The Warriors flipped things when they got to Golden State. The Suns can certainly do that, but it's going to have to be like 70 to 80 points combined from Booker and Durant, I think.
That's the way it's going to roll for sure. It just shows that a little camaraderie helps. Michael Malone knows exactly who to play. He plays those 3 guys. Reggie Jackson, who they thought would be their backup guard, they traded Bones Highland away and replaced him with Reggie Jackson. No, you're not playing. Vlatko Cancar, he played a lot. No, you're not playing. DeAndre Jordan, you could see a coach sneaking him in there. No, you're not playing. While the Suns are searching, I think you're going to get some more Jock. At least he was on the floor during his 5 minutes, working hard. And somebody from the scoring department. Probably not both, but a TJ Warren, he was scoring this season. I'm a little surprised they're not playing him.
I think what's scary is when you look at game 2 and you see the score and you're like 97-87. Oh, God, that was ugly. That was a slugfest. Must have been fouling left and right out there. People must have been living at the free throw line. Suns took 5 free throws. They didn't have a free throw in the first half when the score was like 42-40 or whatever the hell it was. That's bad. And they were ice cold from 3. They can't go 6 of 31, especially Durant. What'd you say? 2 of 12?
2 for 12.
Individually. And they'll either need a Josh, a Torrey Craig, a Lee, a Campaign, whoever. One of them, just one, has to have the KCP-like game, right? Has to have the 3 or 4 threes. Or what Aaron Gordon did in game 1, where he had like the 3 threes. Somebody has to at least help around the edges here. Because Booker's sort of doing all he can. And Durant, we just keep waiting for him to just have a game where he can't miss. But credit to the defenders that are able to throw at him. Obviously, some length, not making it easy in your Porters and your Gordons and stuff like that.
Gordon was awesome.
Yeah.
I thought particularly in the fourth quarter, Kevin Durant went 4 for 10 in the fourth. I guess Bruce Brown got that block, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was Bruce Brown or Aaron
Bruce.
Gordon, but they were both right there. And that was super impressive, the way they were playing defense. And then, Gordon hit a 3 when he absolutely needed to.
My only final note is in watching this game, watching Jokic go to work, Trey Kirby has always told us post moves are cool again. And my God, like, what was your favorite play? He had the baby hook over Ayton near the end of the third quarter where he just backed his ass up and then hit the little hook. He had the crazy little, fadeaway baseline, driveway dad shot over Biyombo. That was again at the end of the third quarter. Then he had another one, like an off-balance hook shot in the fourth quarter. Did you have a favorite of the Joker's points last night?
I don't think you referenced my favorite. The one where he had, he was bumping eight and then spun baseline and finished on the flip side of the rim with a reverse as well. That was a first halfer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was cooking. Ooh, he was nice.
Pure basketball poetry was the call on the TNT broadcast.
Yeah.
I love Ziller going through it.
Exquisite.
Yeah, that's right.
A lot of that.
Ziller going through all the ways he operates, though, Jokic. Screening for Murray on the pick and roll, check. On the pick and pop, check. Weak side threat from three, check. Running the inverted pick and roll to get moving downhill, check. Operating from the free throw line, check. And then he says Ayton should be having nightmares about those bunny hop 15-foot jumpers. Oh, God. Posting up, of course, check. Crashing the offensive glass, he did start to do in the second half, check. Rim running in transition, the big man, Joker, big honey, check. Check. He was sort of everywhere in offense. That's a great breakdown there
everywhere.
from Ghostface Ziller. So we'll see what happens. Game 3.
And he did some defensively, as I pointed out. He corrected the defense there with 4 minutes left to figure out, we can't leave a guy on the dunker spot open. Boom. I did want to check what Damian Lee's 3-point percentage was because it felt like he hit 1,000 threes this year.
Wasn't he
great.
third in the league?
It was
44.5, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
He might hit one.
Got to hit one.
Yeah.
Got to hit one there in Phoenix to make this a series at least. Anything else?
Yeah, one last note. Michael Malone has a huge cut on his forehead from getting hit in the face with a pickleball racket.
Okay, well, that's tweet of the night, but you can talk about it now. We'll just talk about...
That's a tease.
It's a tease.
Yep.
That's a tease. We'll talk about our pickleball games that you guys played.
We'll talk about our pickleball injury.
Uh-oh.
That's a tease for you.
That's a tease.
Michael Malone wasn't the only person with a pickleball injury yesterday.
Is that why JD is sitting over there?
No. You just wait, Tass. We'll get to that later in the show. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to go through the top 10 greatest Game 7 performances in NBA history. Don't go anywhere.
Bombas socks are taking over my sock drawer. I already had the running socks, which are all I wear when I jog. And since summer is approaching, I needed a refresh. I bought some no-show Bombas socks, which are also a performance sock. I actually didn't know they were a performance sock, even though I do like to perform. I just thought I was getting a no-show sock. But I'm glad they are, because they stay in place and they keep my sweaty feet dry. They are so good. This past weekend, I also saw a friend who was wearing Bombas socks. He's the host of a podcast called Is This Good? Anyway, he was on the grass with his Bombas. He stepped in a wet patch and said, it's wet. And that's when Trey said, I remember my first weather. Why are you wearing socks outside?
It was raining all morning.
He was walking around the grass in socks.
Thought it was dry.
It happens. And anyways, this host, Matt Austin, later put his foot up on a counter and told me to touch his merino wool Bombas socks. They're dry. Moisture wicking worked its magic, he said. I hesitantly reached my hand and touched the bottom of his sock. Didn't want to, but they were dry. Bombas are soft, breathable, dry quickly, and Bombas gives back to those in need with every purchase. I'll tell you what's happening in my underwear drawer next time.
Hey.
Go to bombas.com/nodunks and use code NODUNKS for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/nodunks and use code NODUNKS at checkout.
All right, back here in the Classic Factory, hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to No Dunks on YouTube if you haven't done so already. On Monday's podcast, we talked a lot about Steph Curry's 50-point Game 7 on Sunday that eliminated the Kings. What a game. And we discussed within that podcast a lot about where it ranks in regard to Steph Curry's playoff career. Like, where was it on his list of greatest playoff games? But I started thinking about where did that Game 7 performance from Curry rank amongst all other Game 7s in NBA history? Any round. First, second, conference finals, or finals. So I fired up the basketball reference page. I fired up StatHead. Thank God we have an account through The Athletic. Thank you, Athletic. And I didn't want to make this a subjective list. I didn't want to be like, well, I think that one or I think that one. So I went with the good old-fashioned game score that Basketball Reference has, created by the Athletics' very own John Hollinger, which really just gives a rough measure of a player's productivity for a single game. It's taken into account, of course, points, field goal percentage, free throw percentage, offensive and defensive rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, personal fouls, and even turnovers. So this is game score, guys.
So it's you and John Hollinger.
Me and Johnny and B-Ref. Few things about this list that I'll count from 10 to 1. 10 different players on this list. I was happy about that. No repeats. I was like, great.
That's cool.
10 unique names. Only 2 of these games on this list happened in the NBA Finals. Any guesses? Just throw it out there right now.
Draymond.
That's a hell of a call, my man.
I asked ChatGPT about the best Game 7 performances today. And they were all finals performances.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you asked for finals?
No, I just said best Game 7 performances.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, only 2. You got one of them. 5 of the performances that came in Game 7, they came in wins. The other 5 came in losses. Okay? And some of our most recent iconic Game 7s, Luka and Kawhi in 2021, Durant's 48-point shoes too big game in 2021 against the Bucks. Those just missed the top 10 list. Again, this is according to Game Score. Those were in the top 15, though. Luka and Kawhi, which happened in the same game, and KD, like I said, that 48-point. Okay, so let's get to the list. These are the top 10 greatest Game 7 performances in NBA history. Number 10, James Worthy in Game 7 of the 88 Finals versus the Pistons. Big game James. I wonder what type of pants James Worthy was wearing to that game in Game 7 of the 88 Finals.
1988. What was the pant style? Acid wash denim.
Yeah, there's no bell bottoms anymore.
They were a fancy crew though.
They were.
Those Los Angeles Lakers. He was probably wearing Armani.
Somebody check the pants on this
check
guy
the
before
pants on
Game
this
7.
guy.
Anyway, he had a triple-double in Game 7, 36, 16, and 10 in a 3-point victory. He finished 15 of 22 from the floor. He had 2 steals. So the Game 7 triple-double paired with 28 and 9 in Game 6 helped him win Finals MVP. And the Lakers became the first team to win back-to-back titles since the 68-69 Celtics there. I think he was number 10 on this list when it came to game score because he went 6 of 10 at the free throw line. So that bumped him down a little bit, and he had 5 turnovers. That's what I guess.
Okay.
I'll have to check with Hollinger after this one.
Because that's the damn finals.
That's the damn final. That's right. But game score is like, look, you just put in Game 7, and it's like, hey, I'm going to weigh these equally. And that's what I was looking for. Number 9, Larry Bird in Game 7 of the 84 semifinals versus the Knicks. 39 points for Larry Legend, 12 boards, 10 assists, 3 steals. In 42 minutes, he shot 13 of 24 from the field. He hit a three-pointer, which you have to remember in 1984 was like, ooh, cool.
That's a back-breaking 1 three-pointer.
And he went perfect at the free throw line. He went 12 for 12. I love this starting line from the New York Times article after this game. Too much Larry Bird and not enough Bernard King. Bernard King had like sort of a mediocre Game 7. But anyway, 84 Celtics would go on to win the title. Bird would win his first Finals MVP. But that was in the semifinals versus the Knicks. Number 8, Dominique Wilkins. Game 7 of the 88 semifinals versus
Celtics.
That's right. First Game 7 on our list here that came in a loss. 43 minutes of action. He scored 47 points, 19 of 33 shooting, 8 of 9 at the line, 5 boards, 3 assists, 0 turnovers. And this is considered one of the greatest duels in NBA history. Bird and Neek going shot for shot in this game. Kevin McHale after the game said, quote, "It was like 2 gunfighters waiting to blink." Because Bird had 34. I know, I thought it was a weird line.
Waiting to blink? That's what you're looking for in a duel.
Yeah.
Who blinks first?
I guess.
Oh, yeah, we had a gunslinger reference between Mark Jones and Doris Burke on this weekend. Gunslinger be slinging.
Yeah.
Mark Jones loved that Doris Burke pulled it out. They had a good laugh.
I did.
That was nice.
So, Neek, 47 guys in the Game 7. Incredible percentages. But Bird had 34, and he had 20 in the fourth quarter as the Celtics pulled out that victory.
So you're giving Bird that spot.
What do you mean?
Oh, he had 20 in the fourth quarter, and
That's
they won.
big. Hey, I'm telling you, man, this is game score. Don't get mad at me. Number 7, Draymond Green. In Game 7 of the 2016 Finals
Come on.
versus LeBron's Cavs. 32 points on 11 of 15 shooting, 6 threes, 4 of 4 at the line, 15 boards, 9 assists, 2 steals, and only 3 turnovers in 47 minutes. The final score was 93-89. Draymond Green had 32, 15, and 9, and a little bit of defense. Basically played the entire game, but they lose, obviously, to LeBron's Cavs there, and he played a big part in that finals. Probably botching it, where he had to miss the very important, Game 4? Game 4 or Game 5? I always mix that up. What was it?
He
played
Game 5.
Game 4, missed Game 5.
Missed Game 5, thank you.
How many NBA Finals have gone to 7 games?
That I don't know.
I have the answer.
Chat GPT that.
Yep, I'll ask.
What do you got?
I have the answer. No, I'm asking you guys. What do you guys think?
Okay,
What do you
so
think
8?
over the years?
8?
Yeah, you'd think it's low.
I bet it's
a
like
lot higher.
15 to 20.
Yeah, it's 19.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. But again, in a loss. I told you there's losses on this list. These are just individual performances. Number 6, I had completely forgotten about this game. John Stockton in Game 7 of the 1988 West semifinals versus the Lakers. So like Draymond, it did come in a loss. Lowest point total of our top 10 list. Stockton had 29 points. How many assists do you think he had in this game?
21.
Oh, very close. Stockton had 20 assists, 5 steals, and a board, 10 of 15 from the floor, perfect at the charity stripe. Stockton and Malone played all 48 minutes in this do-or-die game against the Lakers. A guy named Bob Hansen played 46 minutes, Mark Eaton played 44, and Thurl Bailey off the bench played 42. They played 5 guys over 42 minutes, and there was like a handful of other minutes to go around. Pretty nuts.
It's like the modern day Phoenix Suns right now.
Man. But Stockton, with the 29 and 20, 5 steals. That's a pretty damn good line. In a loss. Tim Duncan, number 5 on the list. Game 7 of the 06 West semifinals versus the Mavericks. Duncan played just under 50 minutes in the Spurs' overtime loss to the Mavs. 41 points, 12 of 24 from the floor, 17 of 23 at the line for Duncan, 15 boards, 6 of them on the offensive end, 6 assists, 1 steal, 3 blocks. It's the most points Tim Duncan ever scored in a playoff game. This Game 7 here. And outside of Game 1 of the 03 finals, it might be his greatest ever postseason performance. It's probably top 3. Nothing beats that Game 1 of the 03 finals line that he put up, but not bad in a Game 7. I had forgotten about this one, if I'm being completely honest, too. I don't know, 06, Spurs Mavs,
Oh, yeah.
TD, still doing it. What a game.
Is there like a late foul? Is there a late foul in that game on Manu Ginobili or something like that? There might be.
Is that the 06 series?
I don't know.
They've
I don't
got a
know.
time.
Finals are easy to keep track of,
Yeah,
I feel like,
yeah.
but the earlier rounds, they can mix together.
So Steph Curry comes in, again, this is game score on Basketball Reference, comes in at number 4 for his first round 50-burger in Game 7 against the Kings. 20 of 38 shooting. He's the oldest guy on this list, and the only one to deliver an iconic Game 7 performance in a win on the road from this top 10. Because Stockton and Dominique there, they were on the road, but they came in defeat. Curry's 50, we talked about it, likely his 3rd or 4th greatest game of his postseason career. He had 8 boards, 6 assists, 1 steal, only 1 turnover, and he hit 7 threes. Good game. Number 3, LeBron James. Game 7 of the 2018 first round series versus the Pacers. Remember Oladipo and the Pacers taking LeBron
I do.
in 18 to Game 7? LeBron, 45 points, 16 to 25 shooting, hit a couple threes, 11 to 15 at the line, 8 boards, 7 assists, and 4 steals. And they needed all of it because they only won by 4 points at home in that game to the Pacers. The next highest Cavaliers scorer, anyone want to take a guess in that Game 7 victory over the Pacers? LeBron had 45. Who was next in the box score for the Cavs? High scorer.
No Kyrie at that time.
J.R. Smith.
No. Go big guy.
Timofey Mozgov.
No.
He probably was
to
gone at that
Tristan
point.
Thompson?
Tristan Thompson, did you stutter? You did, but you got it right. Yeah, Tristan Thompson at 15 points, the next highest scorer. And
Weird one.
in looking at this list, I was like looking at the box score, I'm like, oh, Sabonis played 26 minutes off the bench for the Pacers in that game. So he was on the losing end, Sabonis, of 2 of the top 5 greatest Game 7 performances ever, according to Basketball Reference in the game score column. Sort of wild. He played, obviously, against Curry there. Number 2, this one is our final one in a loss. I think it's the least talked about Game 7 performance on the list. A big part of it because it came in a loss. But Kevin Johnson in Game 7 of the 95 West semifinals versus the Rockets. In 42 minutes, he scored 46 points and had 10 dimes. Shot 12 of 26 from the field. Here's why he's on the list so high. 21 of 22 at the free throw line. Kevin Johnson. 3 boards, a steal, a block, only had 1 turnover, and it was a 1-point home loss. Barkley, he went for 17 and 23, but Clyde and Olajuwon had 29 each. Kevin Johnson. This is where it's like game score. Wow. You love free throws.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This should not be number 2.
21 of 22. 46 and 10. Hell of a line, but yeah, strange one. But number 1, it's a good one. Charles Barkley in Game 7 of the 1993 West Finals versus the Sonics. Sir Charles scored 44 points on 20 shots. 19 of 22 at the free throw line, 24 rebounds, 10 offensive, like he was loony out there. He hit a 3, an assist, a steal, a block, just 1 turnover. So his game score is 45.0, which is an entire 5 points clear of Kevin Johnson's Game 7. Random note from this game. Now, this is the one that sent the Suns to the finals to take on Michael Jordan and the Bulls. MVP season for Barkley. I mean, what a game here in Game 7. The Suns had a 64-36 free throw advantage in this Game 7 against the Sonics. 64-36.
I'm sure
Twitter
they had
must have been going crazy, man.
That's crazy.
I'm sure they had a home court advantage as well.
Game 7 was at home,
Yep.
I believe, for the Suns there.
Back in the day.
Eddie Johnson played well for the Sonics off the bench. Kemp had a rough one. Sir Charles got him. So, yeah, that's the list. Again, according to the game score, the box score, Barkley 1, Kevin Johnson 2 in 95. LeBron, incredibly, a first-round series versus the Pacers in Game 7. I remember it going 7. We were like, what's going on here? Steph Curry, obviously, on Sunday. Tim Duncan in Game 7 of the 06 West semis versus the Mavs. Stockton in Game 7 of the 88 West semifinals. Draymond Green in a wow, if they win this Game 7, sort of what does that mean for his career and his legacy? Just that's a great Game 7 from him in the 16 finals. Neek, Larry Bird, James Worthy, which a lot of people would have much, much higher because, of course, it's the finals and he had a triple-double and he went on to win finals MVP in a close game.
This is an insane list to me because it's done by game score. How is Draymond's Game 7 ahead of LeBron's Game 7?
Yeah.
LeBron won,
I don't know.
and he had a triple-double in Game 7. He made the biggest play of his career.
What's the box score? Do you have it in front
9
of
of 24.
Yeah, that's why.
Who cares?
The percentage for sure.
I don't care. 27, 11, and 11. And the biggest play of the game.
Well, you could say just flub it. You know, say Game 7 was Game 5 when him and Kyrie had those 2 40-point performances.
What do you mean?
That changed this. That ended the series right there. Game 5 was the Game 7, was the proverbial Game 7 when they both had 40.
It's a great graphic.
Switch it.
Bill Russell had a 30 and 40 in a Game 7 to win the championship. Magic Johnson started that as a rookie.
They may not have that. I wonder if that doesn't
42,
go back.
15, and 7, filling in as a rookie to win a championship.
Yeah.
This is an insane list to me.
Do we need to talk to John Hollinger?
We need to not go by game score.
Well, okay, I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
I went by game score. Tomorrow, you take us through the Trey Kirby top 10.
I'll take you through Chat GPT's top Game 7s right now. Bill Russell, 1962 NBA Finals Game 7, 30 points, 40 rebounds. Magic Johnson, 1980 NBA Finals Game 7, 42, 15, and 7 as a rookie. LeBron James, 2016 NBA Finals Game 7, 27, 11, and 11. Biggest play of his career. Tim Duncan, 05 NBA Finals Game 7, 25, 11 rebounds, 3 assists to win the franchise's 3rd NBA championship. Jerry West, 1969 NBA Finals Game 7, 42 points, 13 rebounds, 12 assists, won Finals MVP
In a loss,
on
yeah.
a losing team. Larry Bird, 1984 NBA Finals Game 7, 20 points, 13 rebounds, 10 assists to beat the Lakers in the championship. And then Hakeem Olajuwon, 1994 NBA Finals Game 7, 25 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 blocks.
Hold on, ChatGPT. Magic Johnson's Game 7 as a rookie didn't happen. It was a Game 6. It wasn't a game. Did not go to 7 games.
We can't trust numbers, and we can't trust words.
We can trust numbers. We can trust the game score. You can disagree with it. But this was just more off of Curry's in a round 1, 50 and 8. Obviously on great percentages and all that. So I just wanted to see these other monster lines, whether they came in a loss or not. That was the thing.
But that's why nobody remembers Kevin Johnson
That's
shooting
why I'm
21 for
reminding you.
22
Yeah.
at the free throw line.
Yeah. That's the weirdest one. But that's because it's definitely taking into consideration, probably of too much importance, hitting a ton of free throws. Yeah.
Was this list also inspired because we had a bit of a misleading short that went out yesterday with the title, "Where does Steph Curry's Game 7 versus the Kings rank all time?" And we didn't rank anything. It was just Steph is awesome. He had a great game. Here's the title to lure you in. You lured people, Jerome. I agreed. But anyway, it was slightly misleading. But I said we can play the game just a little bit. We did talk a little bit about other Game 7s, so I thought that may have been the inspiration for your list.
Love numbers. Let's get to tweet of the night.
Tweet of the night. Wow.
Twitter.
Here's a number. There's 8 billion people on the planet. There's probably 8 billion people who play pickleball, and one of them is head coach of the Denver Nuggets, Michael Malone, who, during the broadcast that was shown, had a big gash near the top of his forehead, near his hairline. Apparently he went for a ball, and his partner hit him in the head. They didn't communicate. He always preaches communication. But he didn't communicate on that play. I only included this just because I know you guys played pickleball yesterday. Let's hear the stories. Apparently someone was injured playing pickleball. Matteo? Oh, no. Oh, no. He's been doing so many workouts. He was telling me about the lunges. He's following the lunge guy that puts his knee over his foot. You know, you're not supposed to do that. Matt's been working out doing that. He's been doing a bunch of things. Pickleball.
Pickleball got
the
him.
least athletic of them all.
Little calf strain, I guess it was. Late into the sesh. I guess we'd been playing for a while.
It was after 90 minutes, certainly.
But I also think it may have been a fake injury. It was TK and I versus JD's wife, Rachel, who was the best player out there, and Matty O. Now, there was a lot of wind out on the pickleball court yesterday. It was crazy. Like, there was an advantage to be on one side, no doubt.
And that pickleball is light.
That's right. That wiffle ball, that pickleball will go everywhere. TK and I took the first game, but we had the good side. We flipped it up. We went to the other side. We sort of got waxed the second game, if we're being honest. They crushed us, didn't they, TK?
That was bad.
But we said, we're running it back, rubber match, third game. We'll start on the bad side, and then we were going to switch. And Trey and I took, I believe, a 2-0 lead in a game that was only going to 7. So a strong lead on the bad side. And that's when Matty O came. No, we're going to have to call it. So we won by default.
Done.
Yeah, I'm done. So that's what happened. But it was a lot of fun. We thought we were not going to have enough people to play one game of pickleball yesterday. In the end, we had 8 people out there. We were rotating teams in. It was great. So it was a lot of fun. First time, right? First time since high school or whatever.
No, this is my second time since
okay.
I was a youngster. But yeah, it was a good time. At one point, Skeets had to check with Rachel. He's like, "You think it's okay if we're screaming out here?"
But we were quite loud.
We're like, as long as it's nice screaming and celebration, it's okay. Not trash talking.
There was shocker. There was a bunch of old people playing down on the other end, and they weren't making a peep, right? Like
No,
you just
no,
heard
no.
tunk, 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 the ball going back and forth. They weren't saying anything, and we would scream after a big play. We'd tapping paddles and all that, and I'm like, yeah, what is the pickleball etiquette? Are we supposed to be sort of calm and cool, or can we be screaming out here? Maybe this is the opposite of some of these, golf and stuff like that. But I mean, Rachel didn't really give me a great answer, I thought.
I thought it seemed to have more of a U.S. Open vibe than a Wimbledon vibe to me. So, the crowd was rowdy.
Yeah.
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 It was like a waste management pickleball open.
Are you saying that because I was playing in a wife respecter for the second half of the day?
Yeah, you had a power look going on out there. It was good.
So do you like pickleball more now, Trey? Because usually you're bad-mouthing it. Let's be honest. You say it's the most...
Nobody on this show has ever heard me badmouth pickleball.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I revealed it.
What did you think, though? You played great.
Like I say, man, I play sports. Play sports. Of course I'm good at pickleball. We had a great time.
Okay.
We had a great time.
good.
I caught him in the kitchen once. He was
Caught me in the kitchen
He was making a
once.
sandwich.
That's my weakness. That's my weakness. I love to be in that kitchen. So at one point, Rachel saw me hanging back. She's like, "You want to move up?" I said, "I'm good where I'm at." I always step in the kitchen, so I gotta stay back a little bit here.
Fun times were had, and nobody injured as bad as Michael Malone's face. I think Matty O's gonna
That would be
fine.
bad.
Yeah, I'll take quite a gash. I could see how it could happen.
Totally.
And just playing with you, like we were a couple times where like we almost nailed each other. But hopefully he heals quickly. All right, tonight's games: Heat Knicks. That's the first game. Miami leads the series 1-0. Is Jimmy Butler gonna play? He was getting ankle treatment. He was walking around New York all day, checking out cool shops, having a coffee. We'll find out. I don't know what his status actually is. I don't think he's been listed out, but I'm guessing he's walking around New York.
He seems to be sending "I'm playing" vibes.
Yeah, I think he's going to play. And then Lakers Warriors finally gets underway this series, game 1 tonight at 10 o'clock. What are you excited?
And Brunson and Randall are listed as questionable on the injury report for the Knicks. Both ankles. So, yeah, Brunson thrown on there. Randall, will he come back and play? Yeah, it stinks for the Knicks that they're trying to implement guys here. Randall coming back, hopefully for them. They need him. They need some shooting. And I say implementing multiple guys because I think they got to throw in Quentin Grimes, who's been just sitting on the bench for a lot of this since he's come back from injury. So it's a must-win game, especially if Jimmy's playing. And they can't get duped into thinking, oh, Jimmy's out there injured, and we can win this game. If Jimmy's playing, he's going to be playing 100%, so you can't just go at him. Somebody's got to score, and hopefully for them, Randall's back. That's the guy can pot 20, 25. They need him.
Anything else you want to touch on here before we leave?
I kind of would like to see Grimes start as well for Josh Hart. Hart just couldn't hit in game 1. Clearly he was out there for defense on Jimmy Butler, but if Butler's going to be hampered a little bit, you can probably get away with Grimes playing some more minutes. I think he only got 10 in game 1 after returning from an injury, but he seemed to look fine. So maybe he'll get a little bit of tick. And then, man, it's a great question about what we're going to see from LeBron tonight, because this would be a perfect time for a throwback. LeBron controlling the game from the post, hunting out Steph Curry for mismatches, and just slowing the game down and getting good shots for the Lakers. He didn't do that in round 1, so we will see if he can still throw it back to 2018,
Yeah. Isn't he notoriously on record saying like he likes game 1s as a feel-out game?
Loves a feel-out game.
Yeah, so he doesn't maybe... I don't know. We'd have to check the game scores to see all of LeBron's game 1s in playoff series. But
he did have a 51 in a game 1 once upon a time.
Okay,
that was a big one.
Yeah, good call. So we'll see. Excited. Heat Knicks. I mean, it feels like a must-win game for the Knicks, no matter who is playing. And then Lakers Warriors should be great and doing amazing ratings, I assume, on TNT tonight. With everybody tuning into that, we'll be here tomorrow to break them all down. So join us live at 10 a.m. Eastern. Subscribe to No Dunks on YouTube. Hit that like button if you haven't already, and leave your boys a comment or two there in the comment section. Till tomorrow, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us, and remember, as far as game 1s go, Devin Booker, to me, is the new LeBron James. He's a feeler in game 1s. He's a feeler.
Embrace the day, people.